Hey guys and gals, Nary here from Drakewing Gaming, or something on Twitter, the Gaming Dragon. Today I'm coming back at you another Let's Play episode of Remember the Flowers. So yeah, before we jump into it, just wanted to let y'all know that our Patreon is now for as little as $5. Y'all can help support the channel and get some awesome awards like permanent access to our community Discord server and full access to upcoming not safe for work videos. Anyway, y'all, let's go ahead and jump right back in. Alarm chain, you are up, and let's go. Alright, right after we met Titania. By all means. Crystal bows before moving to a desk in the corner. The Vampire of Resume. That's how people refer to him, even those that don't know the inner workings of the company. He's ruthless and fully believes he should be leading this broken country. To be blunt, he's a megalomaniac. He thinks he's above everything and everyone who's ever lived. The only reason he got into the medical field was so that he could play God, save lives, and profit from them. I take a deep breath. Sorry, I got carried away. Don't be. You seem to have been wanting to get that off your chest for a long time. This might be a formal meeting, but I understand needing an outlet after all those centuries. But let's not prattle on too much about the man's character. With how he operates Resume, I could figure that much out on my own. Titania chuckles. It's just frustrating. I pinched the bridge of my nose before sitting up straight. I forgot who I was talking to for a moment. Anyway, I have more than enough resolve to see your goal through. Do you know what my goal is? It catches me off guard. To take Resume down? That is part of it, yes. Crystal returns. I guess she finished going over my report. She hands Titania some fresh papers. I'm going to keep going over Cyrus's notes, but he's left us with a lot of good information, including how to use lodestars to our advantage. Lodestars? That's a surprise. What is it that you found, Cyrus? Permission to take a weapon out from my axiom? Granted. I take out the prototype gun that Scrap sold me back in Golden Requiem, along with King's axiom. So, this is how you shot King's arm off. You sound familiar with him. I interviewed him, just once. I could tell he was a member of the Fraction, so I tried getting his face out there. Crystal shrugs. The brute shooed me off before I could get a word in, but we have records of work. Just getting footage of him was enough for me at the time. That's neither here nor there. From what I read, you were able to access the data in his axiom. Is that really true? It is. It's corrupted, but Kanto was able to use it like any other axiom. I slide open the screen of King's axiom. I shot his arm with a bullet made from a lodestar. Kanto says that caused it to overload. Does the Resistance have any spare lodestars? My pitch is that, given enough, we could extract data from countless axioms while on the front line. Titania takes King's axiom into her own hands. She slides through the fuzzy pages. We never bothered keeping lodestars outside of trading. We're not in the market to manufacture that kind of machinery. I never would have believed that there's a way to break into an axiom. She sounds genuinely impressed as she fiddles with the oversized machine. That brings me to my next point. Here it is, what I've been waiting for. I'd like to volunteer to go out into the field and collect lodestars en masse. I have some fighting experience, but I admit that it's not my forte and is mainly for self-defense. However, what I lack in brute force I make up for in speed, thanks to Silver. Yeah, I'd say that this gives the Resistance an edge if they all have fucking laser cannons! Titania and Crystal exchange looks for an extended period of time before they both smile. I wish I had courage like you, Cyrus. Very well, I approve of your venture. I have 4 conditions, one of which I'll leave to your judgment. What are they? As far as we know, this is the first time an axiom has been overloaded like this. Therefore, I would like to move quickly and attain as many lodestars as possible. And this may seem sudden, but you'll find that I don't like to waste time. Titania holds up her hand, raising her index finger. As such, I want you to embark on your first mission in 2 weeks. In 2 weeks' time. You will have 6 months to collect as many lodestars as you possibly can, along with any other intel you may stumble upon. During those 6 months, you are not to have contact with anyone within the Resistance, outside of specific secure waypoints. Not that we know that axioms have the potential to be hacked into, it'll be too dangerous to use them to send sensitive information. We'll have to reevaluate our security measures. Additionally, you will not be permitted to return until your mission is complete. I can feel my face go pale. It's a hell of a first condition. Second, you will have someone accompany you as you travel. Someone who knows the land and can help keep you safe. It is also important to me that your partner be experienced in combat. While you may have held your own back there, it was only through the skin of your teeth. As such, they will be tasked with furthering your training while you're gone. Crystal chimes in. I know the perfect candidate. As do I, but I'm sure we're thinking of the same person. They both share another glance with each other and then chuckle. I'll get in contact with him today. Excellent. I gulp. And the third condition? Crystal, if you would. Certainly. Crystal walks over to a drawer to retrieve something before walking back to me. She hands me a small but heavy box. I look at Titania and she nods for me to open it. Upon doing so, my heart skips a beat. Inside lies a shiny metal collar, a collar I've seen before. Oh, this is the same kind of collar those men that attacked us were wearing. What is this exactly? Titania lowers her head slightly while giving me a striking gaze. For some reason, it feels like the atmosphere has suddenly changed. It's called an Arcadia collar. It allows the authorizer to track the movements of the one wearing it, no matter where they are in the world. They are rare but useful. However, there exists versions of the collar that have been modified for more nefarious purposes. The one you hold is a modified version made specifically by Resume. It acts as a shock collar, a wiretap, and can even self-destruct. Rest assured, only you will have access to these features. Seeking your axiom to it will grant you full control. If there is ever a moment you fear you may end up being captured, it's up to you whether or not you use the collar to your advantage. I hope it doesn't come to that, but I want you to have an out if the need arises. This is the condition that is up to you, should you choose to accept this mission. I see. Knowing that, it makes sense people from Resume would wear them. It keeps them quiet. Indeed. You'll be chained to this mission for half a year. Even then, you might not be successful. Thank you. I don't doubt your abilities, but lodestars have become incredibly scarce in recent years. I'm aware that 6 months is a long time, however the risk of this mission is relatively low compared to most of my men on the front line. We'll provide you plumes for living expenses, though I would like you to keep interactions to a minimum. There's danger lurking around every corner. Titania folds her hands together once more. With that being said, I'm surprised you aren't already familiar with Arcadia collars. What do you mean? The men you had an altercation with were likely members of the Fracture, a military force made up mostly of Resumed soldiers. As you might have guessed, they're a task force set out to find pristine carriers, and tasked to eliminate anyone that stands in the way of Resume's goals. The subject of pristine carriers is top secret. As such, members of the Fracture are forced to wear Arcadia collars to keep them quiet, or face death as a consequence. It's not limited to only them, however. Even people who work directly inside Resume wear them. Anyone who knows the truth, it seems. I see. That does make sense. I'd never seen one before I was attacked. This must have come after Darius locked me away. I didn't see much of the outside of that room. Many of their uniforms tend to cover the neck. You likely never had a chance to see it if that's the case. I think back to when I was captured by Clement. It's true. I couldn't see anything underneath the collar of his uniform. The men who attacked us didn't look to be in uniform, though. Perhaps Resume is becoming a little too big for their britches. Titania's expression changes to one of displeasure. However, that is not the issue at hand. I wasn't asking because of your history with Resume. I was asking because this is information Aaron should have relayed to you before ever going to such a shady establishment. And the Golden Requiem of all places. A gulp. I know Aaron and his team can handle their own, but he should have been more cautious, especially with you of all people. Your situation could have been avoided entirely. I knew that report sounded off. It feels as if I've only been told half the story. Aaron is usually more aware of his surroundings. He's always made good calls in the past. It's why I saw a leader in him. So why is it that Aaron didn't immediately remove you from the situation when he spotted those collars? I've always instructed everyone to avoid confrontation when possible. Shit, she doesn't know that Aaron left me all alone after all. I freeze and she stares me down. Eventually, she speaks up again. And that brings me to my last condition. Titania points her finger at me, specifically at my face. Fix your hair. You'll be fired before you even had a chance to sit through orientation. What? My hair? Let me be more specific. Dye your hair. It doesn't matter what color. Any will do. Just do it immediately. You stand out like a sore thumb. You can only imagine my shock when you waltzed in here. Hair as radiant as the day I first received reports about you. Titania closes her eyes and sighs. Actually, that's a good point. I always wondered why he didn't dye his fucking hair. That seemed to me like a massive oversight on everyone's part. Like, people who've been experimented upon or are pristine carriers usually have white hair. Oh, yeah, that's not gonna look suspicious when a guy with white hair walks into a fucking black market dealership. This is not a game. I don't need to tell you how foolish it was to wander around in public without any forethought into your appearance. I should honestly reprimand you and your team, especially Aaron, for allowing this to go on for so long. Let this be your first warning, Cyrus Cantwell. Danger is lurking around every corner, and you should always be fully prepared for that. However, in light of the new information you presented today, I may let this slide. Aaron will not get off so lucky. I'll be arranging a meeting with him soon. I rely on him to present rescuees with any and all information needed to protect themselves. This is just carelessness. And this brings into question his role as a leader. I suspect there was more to this situation that I am not understanding. My heart beating fast. Feels like a parent catching me in a lie. I haven't felt like this in a couple of centuries. Yeah, she's a good leader. She can sniff out bullshit. Considering the information you've given us today, I feel like I can put some trust in you, so I'll ask you this. What happened on that day in Golden Requiem? What am I missing? I lower my head in shame. It's best for me not to start my new position lying to my boss, I guess. I sigh and bring my eyes back up to face her. We were nearly done with our trip, and it seemed like Aaron had received a notification from someone about some intel. He asked me to stay put because his informant is apparently very private. That's what he said anyway. I don't know what the intel was about. Shortly after he left me there, I was attacked. But he did manage to find me again and help me fight those Titania raises her hand as if to cut me off. That's enough. I understand now. Mostly. She taps her finger on her desk multiple times, looking lost in thought for a few moments. I break the silence. I'm sorry I didn't tell anyone this sooner. I guess I was afraid of getting Aaron in trouble. Don't be sorry, and give yourself more credit, Cyrus. You managed to fight off 2 soldiers on your own, and dismembered their leader. That's quite a feat for a rookie. You have a fairly impressive resume already, it seems. I wasn't so sure before, but maybe what happened to you was a blessing in disguise. For all this tension, she finally cracks a smile. I chuckle nervously. Oh, glad you could see it that way. I apologize. I didn't mean for it to sound rude. Aaron's actions were suspicious, if not foolish, but I don't believe he would betray us. No, there's something deeper going on here, but that isn't for you to worry about it. I will get to the bottom of it myself. It should go without saying, but do not tell Aaron of this conversation. I have my own suspicions that I want to confirm first. You talking to him about this could jeopardize that. It kills me knowing that I might have to lie to Aaron. Yes, ma'am. Of course. She relaxes her shoulders and leans back in her chair. At the end of the day, you both made it back safely. I'm happy you're okay. Just please be more careful in your future endeavors. I nod. I do apologize for getting a bit heated earlier. Please understand the resistance and our mission are very important to me. She gives me a soft and caring look, again like a parent. I nod in response. It's like, you know. Now then, we should get back to business. I've laid out all my conditions for you. As stated earlier, you were to go on a mission for 6 months to collect lodestars, along with dyeing your hair to avoid any more unnecessary trouble. Do you have any questions? I meet her question with silence. This is a lot to take in. Am I not used to that? Ever since I woke up in this hellscape, I've been dealing with all kinds of challenges. This is just another. I'm a bit nervous about leaving for that long. I won't be able to return home for the whole time, is that right? That is correct. Until you've gathered the necessary resources, I don't want you to come back and potentially leave traces behind. Honestly, that's the hardest part. I feel like I've just gotten comfortable with my new life down here. At which you are more than welcome to continue living. These conditions are only if you accept the mission I've assigned to you. This would be a good opportunity for you to get familiar with the lay of the land. I know you're familiar with how it used to be before the fall, but I think it would benefit you to travel. Took the words right out of my mouth. You could be the one to turn the tide of this century-long struggle. I wouldn't assign something so difficult for your first mission if I didn't think you were capable. In my line of business, I've had to learn how to read people. It's a matter of survival at this point. I'm putting my faith in you. I look down at the box with the Arcadia collar in my lap. I smirk. What's 6 months to 300 years? With a deep breath, I open the box before bringing the collar up to my neck. Alright, y'all. I'm going to pause it right there. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring that notification bell, and check out our Patreon if you can. It always helps. Before I go, I'm going to give a quick shout out to our lovely bronze tier patrons. Thank you all for all you do for the channel. We greatly appreciate your support. Thank you to our silver tier patron, Cade Silvermoon. Thank you for going a bit above and beyond. It's greatly appreciated. Thank you to our gold tier patron, Armor. You're awesome. We love you. Thank you for subbing to our ultimate tier. Anyway, if y'all want to get your names in the credits, get access to our not safe for work content as little as $5. Alrighty? I love you all, and I'll see you all in the next video. Ooh, excuse me. Bye-bye!